I bring my trembling hand to the cool metal railing as the sun bleeds its last amber rays across Patong's skyline, and I can't believe I'm here again, feeling alive. "Lisa," I whisper, voice barely louder than the hum of conversation. "Around us, this view, it's incredible." She turns to me, eyes bright as lanterns, and tucks a lock of dark hair behind her ear. "I promised you, didn't I?" she says softly, leaning closer so only I can hear. "This trip will change everything." My heart squeezes with hope I thought I'd buried years ago after Mary died, and I sold our house to chase peace in Thailand. "You really mean that?" I ask, voice cracking. She smiles, teeth shining, and squeezes my hand. "With all my heart." I let myself believe her, letting the warmth of her words rush through me like sunshine. "Another round?" calls the gay bartender, sliding over a pair of cold beers. I nod and he smirks. "Our romantic old fool here wants to toast his new flame," he says, tapping my shoulder. I laugh, flush with nerves, and shout back, "Speak for yourself, Somchai, I'm just celebrating a fresh start." He winks and walks off, leaving me grinning like a schoolboy. Lisa giggles, soft and musical, and brings her beer to my lips. "To fresh starts," she says. I clink the rim of her glass with mine and swallow, tasting salt, sweat, and something dangerously like excitement. I remember how I met her a week ago on that app. Just a swipe, a message, her profile saying, "Adventurous spirit, loves laughter." I thought it was a fluke, an echo of my past life when I had someone to tease and hold close. I left Chiang Mai alone, mourning an empty house, craving conversation, companionship, the brush of a hand that said, "I care." Now here I am watching the sky darken and feeling a spark of something I forgot existed. "Do you ever get scared?" I ask, voice low. She tilts her head, expression thoughtful. "Scared of what?" she replies. I hesitate, struggling with doubt I don't want to admit. "That this feels too good to be real," I say. Her eyes soften. She reaches out, brushes a thumb against the scar on my hand, left over from a kitchen accident long ago. "Life's too short for fear, Uncle Jack," she says, and I laugh at the nickname she gives me, half teasing, half tender. "You make me feel young," I confess. She smiles wider and presses her cheek to my arm. "Then let's stay young tonight." Her voice feels like silk and danger, and I love it. I tell her about Mary, how she liked sunsets too, how we'd sit on our porch at home and hold hands just like this. She listens, nods, and says, "I'm sorry for your loss." I sip my beer, heart heavy, but I see understanding in her eyes and I want to share more. My divorce before Mary, the loneliness that followed, the ache that led me here. But I don't. Instead, I smile and point to the dance floor below. "Let's dance," I say. She laughs, bright and fearless, and we step toward the center, bodies swaying to a distant beat, strangers cheering, lights pulsing. I close my eyes and forget everything except the warmth of her hand in mine. Afterward, we wander to the railing, lean into each other as night settles. I breathe in jasmine incense drifting from a nearby stall, and the memory of her laugh when I called it perfume. Of paradise. She threads her fingers through mine. "What do you want most right now?" she asks, voice hushed. I swallow, glance at the horizon where neon signs flicker like fireflies. "I want this to last," I admit. She lifts my chin with one finger and looks straight into my eyes. "It will," she says, voice firm. Her confidence warms me. She leans in, lips brushing my ear. "Promise me you'll do anything for happiness." My pulse thunders. "Anything," I say without hesitation. She pulls away, smiles, and whispers, "Then stay with me tomorrow. Come with me to Krabi." I hesitate. I've only planned. A week here and my money is limited. But her smile is a promise, fragile and bright. "Yes," I say before my brain can catch up. "Yes, I'll go anywhere with you." We sit back down as the bartender drops 2 more beers. He winks. "You read my mind, old friend." I shrug, embarrassed. "I just want to be happy," I confess. And he nods as though he understands better than anyone. Lisa nudges me playfully. "You deserve it," she murmurs. I watch the reflection of her face in my glass, study the curve of her smile, the softness in her eyes. And for the first time in a long time, I believe I deserve it. I think of my lonely evenings in Chiang Mai. Endless. Cups of tea, dusty books, silence that cut deeper than grief. I think of the sting when I sold our home, the ache in my chest when I flew here, hoping for peace but expecting only regret. Now, with Lisa beside me, I feel a flicker of hope, a warm glow that spreads through me. I lean closer, voice low. What happens after Krabi? She lifts her brow, playful. That's for us to decide, she says. I nod, hard light. The last light fades, and the view softens. The bartender calls last orders. Lisa slips her hand into mine, thumb stroking my palm. Are you ready? She asks. I swallow. I'm ready, I reply, believing her promise. In that moment, I vow silently to spend whatever it takes, time, money, trust, to hold on to this spark. As the night deepens, we share one final toast, and I whisper, to us. She meets my gaze, hope shining in her eyes, and echoes, to us? I lean my head back against the railing, watching stars emerge over the sea. I feel a warmth spreading from my chest, something I thought I'd lost forever. In the glow of neon lights and her soft presence, I believe in new beginnings, and I'm ready to give everything I have to prove it. I drape the thin gold chain around my neck and feel its weight settle against my collarbone, her fingers lingering. As she whispers, "This is our bond, Kun Jack." I look at her. Lisa's cheeks are pink, her eyes soft in the afternoon light that filters through her apartment window. "Thank you," I manage, voice thick. She smiles wider and brushes a stray hair from my forehead. "You deserve it," she says. My chest swells with pride, and I realize I want to prove my feelings with something bigger. The next morning I head to the jewelry district, determination pushing aside the small knot of doubt in my stomach. "Sawadee krap," I say to the jeweler, offering my tie the way I learned, and he nods, leading me to a display of bracelets. "Custom work?" he asks, examining my wrist. I nod firmly. "I want something unique," I tell him, and point to a delicate gold bracelet with fine engravings. He looks skeptical but smiles at my insistence. 45,000 baht, he says bluntly. I hesitate for a heartbeat but reply, "Fine, I'll pay." In broken Thai, I negotiate the shape of the links, the shine of the clasp. He adjusts a sketch and I nod again, handing over my card. As he wraps my purchase in velvet cloth, I feel a surge of triumph. Walking back through the crowded market, I clutch the box to my chest. The scent of street food drifts past, grilled chicken, spicy papaya salad, and vendors call out to passers-by. Every face blurs behind my determination to present this gift. My phone buzzes. "Be safe, man," reads a text from Tom back home. I tap out, always, though I know I'm not. I slide the velvet parcel into my bag and catch a tuk-tuk back to Lisa's building. Upstairs, she opens the door before I even knock, breathless. She takes my hand and guides me to the couch. "I can't believe you did this," she murmurs, eyes shining as she unwraps the box. Her fingers tremble as she lifts the bracelet, and she presses it around my wrist. "Oh, Kun Jack," she whispers, leaning in to kiss my temple. My heart stutters at the warmth of her touch. I cup her face, brushing my thumb across her lips. "You mean everything to me," I tell her, voice low and urgent. She pulls back, studying my eyes. "You're so generous," she says. I shrug, trying to appear nonchalant. "I just want you to know how serious I am." My words falter when she glances at her phone, a flicker of annoyance crossing her face as it buzzes on the coffee table. She slides it away without picking it up. "Ignore it," I say, but she shakes her head. "It's family," she explains, voice distant. "Visa issues again." I force a smile and nod, but my chest tightens. "Let me see," I say, reaching for the phone. She hesitates, then hands it over. I skim the message preview. Another demand for money, an official-looking name I don't recognize. "What is this?" I ask quietly. She snatches the phone back. "Nothing," she insists, voice sharp. "Just business. Don't worry." I tuck the phone away and lean back, eyes locked on hers. "I worry," I say hollowly. She touches my hand, warm and soft. "Trust me," she whispers, and I swallow, letting her calm me. That night we share dinner in her living room, pad thai and sticky rice from the street stall below. Her laughter rings out when I fumble with chopsticks, and I feel a flush spread from my ears to my chest. "You're adorable," she teases. I grin. "Only for you." She tilts her head, gaze tender. "I never met anyone like you," she says. My heart pounds. "I never felt like this," I admit. She reaches across the table and our hands meet. I study the bracelet glittering on my wrist and imagine a future where this us lasts forever. After dinner, she leans against me on the couch, and I wrap an arm around her shoulders. "Tell me again why you moved here," she asks, voice soft against my shirt. I clear my throat. "I wanted peace," I say. "After Mary. After everything." She hums and presses her cheek to my chest. "I'm honored you chose to share your peace with me." Her words warm me, but I push down a nagging worry. Her phone calls, her sudden silences. I swallow it, reminding myself she loves me. Later, as we stand in the hallway saying goodnight, she reaches up and kisses my cheek. "Sweet dreams, Coon." "Jack," she murmurs. I pull her close and breathe in her scent, jasmine and coconut. "Sweet dreams," I echo. I linger until she slips inside her apartment and closes the door. Alone, I press my forehead against the cool wood and close my eyes. Pride and doubt war inside me. I've shown her everything, yet I barely know the truth. The next morning I wake to sunlight streaming through gauzy curtains. The apartment is quiet, except for my pounding heart. I reach for my wrist. There's the bracelet, solid proof of my commitment. I smile, but it falters when I see her phone on the table, screen lit with new messages. I pick it up, thumb hovering over the screen, and consider confronting her again. But then I remember her smile, the warmth in her eyes, and I set the phone down. I slip the bracelet back under the sleeve of my shirt and stand, ready to meet her in the lobby. In the elevator, I catch my reflection, older now but still seeking love. I adjust my shirt and smooth imaginary wrinkles. When the doors open, she's waiting, dressed for the day, hair tied back in a loose ponytail. She steps close and I feel that familiar spark. "Ready for lunch?" she asks. I offer her my arm. "Lead the way," I reply. As we walk into the bright morning, I tuck away my doubts, determined to enjoy every moment. I've given her gold, and in return I've received hope. I tell myself hope is worth any risk. I wake to my phone buzzing again at midnight and sit up, heart thundering. Lisa's name flashes on the screen, but I hesitate before answering. When I press the green icon, her voice cracks. "Jack, I need more documents for the visa office." I swallow. "How much this time?" I ask, voice tight. She sighs. 10,000 baht, it's urgent." I rub my temples. "Again?" she whispers. "Just family drama. Please trust me." I close my eyes, tension coiling in my chest. Tap the screen. "Send me the details," I say. I find an email from a supposed immigration agent demanding fees. I stare at the numbers. Phishing, I think. But then I remember her soft smile when I handed over the last wire transfer. I tell myself it's real. Later I knock on her door. She opens, tired, eyes shadowed. "You worried?" she asks, voice flat. I force a smile. "Just checking." She steps aside and lets me in. I glimpse her phone on the table, screen lighting up with calls from family. She answers in whispers. I clear my throat. "You okay?" She covers the mouthpiece. "Yes." She says nothing. But I hear the curt edge. My mind spins. Am I imagining things? I remind myself of the rooftop, the bracelet, her promise to change everything. Denial feels safer than truth. Next morning I meet Raj, the British expat from down the hall in the hallway. He brushes past me, glancing at my shirt. "Watch your wallet, mate," he says quietly. I force a laugh. "All part of love, Raj." He shakes his head, eyebrows rising. I shrug and move on, tension knotting my chest. That afternoon I'm back at her apartment with paperwork in hand. I read her face. She's distracted. "I'll sort it tonight," she lies, eyes flicking to her phone. I bite back a question and nod. I hand her my credit card receipt, 30,000 baht. She smiles, hesitant. Thank you, she whispers. I brush aside my doubt and press my lips to her temple. Later, I lounge on her sofa, watching her pace. With the phone pressed to her ear, her posture stiff, words clipped. I swallow hard and force myself to speak. Everything okay? She hangs up and picks at her lip. Fine, she says, but her eyes avoid mine. Silence stretches. My mind races through red flags I've ignored. Late-night calls, money requests, secretive behavior. I convince myself love means sacrifice. I stand, pacing the small living room. Should I call your family? I suggest. She snaps, No, Jack. They'll think I'm a fool. Her anger surprises me. I back away. I'm sorry. She softens. It's stressful. I nod, guilt searing. That night, I lie awake, staring at the ceiling. I replay her curt voice, the unanswered questions. My credit card bill haunts me. Another 30,000 baht vanished into thin air. I tell myself it's legal, all love. Denial is my shield tonight. Morning light filters through curtains, and I wake still tangled in doubt. I find her in the kitchen stirring tea. I join her at the table. You need rest, I say. She nods and lifts the cup. You're kind, she murmurs. I search her face and push away the nagging fear that she's mercenary and not my savior. Later, a call from my daughter flashes on my phone. I silence it, my heart pounding. I can't bring myself to tell her about Lisa's demands. My mind jumps. I'm hiding my life because I can't admit my mistake. I swallow regret. I decide to confront her gently over dinner. I point to her phone glowing on the counter. Who's calling so much, I ask. She flinches. My aunt, she lies. Visa forms. I press on. Do you trust me enough to talk? She meets my eyes, pain flickering. I do, she says, but please not tonight. I nod, but my chest tightens again. After dinner, I walk with her to the balcony. The city lights stretch below. I take her hand. I feel like I don't know you sometimes. She squeezes my fingers. You'll learn, she says softly. My breath catches. I remember Mary. No secrets, no late-night excuses. I wonder if I'm trading one grief for another. That night her phone rings loud and shrill. She grabs it, voice tight. I stare, wanting to reach for her, but fear holds me back. She storms out of the room, slamming the door. I sit on the edge of her bed, stunned. My mind races. Did I say something wrong? Did I push too hard? I wait for her return, but the minutes drag into an hour. When she finally returns, eyes red, she collapses beside me. I'm sorry, she whispers. I touch her arm. It's okay. But it isn't. I feel the first crack in my denial. I lie awake again, tension coiling tighter. I replay the argument, her storming out, the weight of the bill. My heart aches, with guilt and confusion. I tell myself I'm overreacting, she's under stress. Love means understanding, right? I drift into uneasy sleep, denial my only refuge until the next midnight call. I hear the water running and my heart skips as I pick up Lisa's phone from the coffee table, thumb hovering over the screen. 2 missed calls from Tony. My chest tightens. I swipe to her gallery and freeze at a photo. Her arm around another man's shoulder, grinning at a beach bar. My pulse rattles in my ears. When she steps out of the bathroom, towel wrapped at her chest, I force calm. Lisa, who's Tony? I hold the phone out. She blinks, startled. Tony, just a friend from my hometown. Her voice trembles. We drank after work. I swallow, voice low. He texted twice last night. She shifts on her toes. Probably family emergency. I feel the first twist of betrayal. Why hide it? I ask, chest aching. She laughs, too sharp. I didn't hide it. I forgot to mention. I hold the photo up. And this? Tears fill her eyes. That was a goodbye. Dinner, she says, voice wavering. He's leaving the city. Something fractures inside me. Why didn't you tell me? I whisper. She steps forward, placing a hand on my arm. I didn't want to worry you. Her face is close, soft, pleading. My mind floods with doubt, but I remember her touch on my cheek at night, her warmth against my sleeve. Denial surfaces. "I'm sorry," I say quickly, stepping back. "I overreacted." She nods, tears tracking down her face. "I never meant to hurt you." I pull her into a hug, breathing in the scent of jasmine shampoo. Her tears dampen my shirt. "It's okay," I whisper, stroking her hair. My chest still stings, but her sobs soften my anger. I kiss her forehead. We sit on the couch as she wraps her arms around me. "I needed someone to talk to," she says. "He's my childhood friend." I nod, voice tight. "I understand." Even as I say it, the phone buzzes again. Another message from Tony. She ignores it, burying her face in my chest. I brush a hand across her back. My mind races. If she lied once, can I trust her again? But I feel her heartbeat slow against mine and convince myself love demands forgiveness. She looks up, red-eyed. "Promise you won't mention this to anyone." I force a smile. "Promise." She leans in and kisses me, gentle at first, then deeper as if seeking assurance. My resistance melts. I cup her face. "I love you," I murmur. "I love you too," she breathes. She leans back, eyes bright. With relief, and offers a tentative smile. I sit still, trying to tamp down suspicion. Later, she excuses herself to shower again. I sit on the balcony, phone in hand, staring at the sea of lights below. My fingers hover over the message preview. "Let's meet tomorrow." I toss the phone onto the chair and close my eyes. Doubt claws at my chest, but I clench my fists. Not tonight. I replay her apology in my head. "I never meant to hurt you," and convince myself the photo was innocent, the calls family drama. I breathe in the humid air, tasting salt and regret. When she emerges, wrapped in a sarong, she smiles softly. "Come inside," she says. I follow her in, pushing my fear down. I brush a kiss on her knuckles. "I'm here," I say, voice steady. She nods, and together we watch the city lights. Denial, our fragile shield against truth. I wake to sunlight, painting her curtains gold, and find her phone on the nightstand, buzzing silently. My hand itches to check it again, but I resist. I tell myself yesterday was a misunderstanding. I turn to her, hair wet, eyes gentle. "Good morning," I whisper. She smiles, reaches for me. "Morning," she replies. I kiss her hand. We share. Breakfast, a small plate of fruit in silence. I study her, the curve of her smile, the way her eyes lock on mine when she thinks I'm not looking. My mind drifts back to Tony's photo, Tony's name flashing, and I swallow guilt. I push the thought aside. Later, we walk through the market. She points out spices and laughs when I mispronounce Tam Mak Hung. Her laughter is a balm, but I feel a knot in my chest. She excuses herself to buy medicine, vanishing into a stall. I stand in the aisle, unease prickling. Everywhere I look, I see warnings, vendors whispering, tourists eyeing wallets. My stomach churns. She returns with a bag of pills and hands me a bottle of water. "Just my stomach," she says. I nod, but my mind stays on the hidden phone. As she examines the pills, her phone buzzes at her waist. She glances and tucks it into her pocket. My pulse spikes. "Is that important?" I ask. Her lips tighten. "No," she says, her voice clipped. I hesitate, anger flaring. "It's always something," I say quietly. She drops her gaze and bites her lip. "I'm sorry." I close my eyes, weight crushing me. I don't know what to believe. She reaches out and grabs my arm. "Please don't leave." Her eyes glisten. I inhale her scent, coconut and fear, and my resolve wavers. "I love you," she whispers. My throat closes. That night, back at her apartment, I pour 2 glasses of wine. "To us," she says, raising her glass. I echo the toast, voice hollow. I search her eyes for the truth. She drinks, then sets her glass down hard. "Jack, why are you like this?" Her frustration hurts more than any lie. I drop my voice because I saw a photo. She flinches. That was months ago. I lean forward. Months ago you were with him, not me. She stands abruptly, voice shaking. That was before I met you, can't you see? My chest heaves. Then why? Hide it? Tears fill her eyes. I was ashamed, she admits. Ashamed you'd judge me. I close my eyes, tears leaking. I thought we were honest. She steps close, voice soft. With you, I am. She cups my face. I feel her tears on my skin. We stand in silence, weight between us. I stare into her eyes, searching for the girl who promised change, who held my hand under neon lights. My heart aches. I brush away a tear falling down her cheek. I forgive you, I whisper, though my voice trembles. She breathes relief, hugs me tight. I let her, though every hug feels like a question. Later I lie awake on her balcony, moonlight casting shadows. I replay the confrontation, her tears, my apology. My mind races, denial or truth. I clutch the blanket around me, whispering, I forgive you, even as doubt pulses in my veins. I close my eyes, tears stinging, wonder how I could be so blind. I wake to silence and reach for Lisa's phone. Blank screen. Panic crashes through me as I read the text she left on my lock screen. Held up at immigration. Need 100,000 baht. For expedited processing. My throat tightens. I tap out where, who, but my messages remain unread. I grab my laptop and stare at my bank balance. I don't have that kind of cash. My finger hovers over transfer. Then I sigh and call my broker. I need to withdraw from my retirement account, I tell him, voice shaking. He hesitates, then processes the request. While I wait, I pace the apartment, heart slamming against my ribs. My phone dings. Confirmation of the wire. 10 minutes. Later I dial her number over and over. Silence. Anxiety coils in my chest. I swallow shame, trading my security for her promise, and dial again. At last, her voice, calm, almost bored. Got your money? She asks. My heart lurches. Yes, I say, relief and dread tangled. Come back, she sighs. I'm with family now. I'll return when I can, I protest. I need you here. She cuts me off. I'll call you. Click. I stare at the phone, mouth dry. I wander into the streets, empty by midday heat. Tuk-tuks whiz past. Vendors nap in the shade. Tourists drift by unaware. I clutch my jacket over my shoulder, hiding the emptiness in my wallet. Each step echoes with regret. 100,000 baht, gone. I think of Mary, her gentle laugh. I traded that trust for thin promises. My phone buzzes. No message. I dial again, but it goes straight to voicemail. I leave a wavering plea. Lisa, please. I walk until my legs ache, until neon signs blur into a haze of light and shadow. Night falls and I circle back to her apartment, but the door stays locked. I press my ear against the wood, straining for her voice. Nothing. My hands tremble. I lean back, sliding down to sit on the sidewalk, head bowed. The air is thick and I taste salt on my lips. Tears or sweat, I can't tell. I whisper, what have I done? My shame burns hotter than the street lamps overhead. I remember her smile when I handed over the wire, so steady, so sure. Now that certainty is gone. I dial my daughter, throat tight, but hang up before she answers. I can't admit my mistake. I rock forward, shoulders trembling. I trusted you, I mutter into the dark. No answer. I tuck my head between my knees and let the tears come. Silent confession to the empty street. Dawn finds me still on that sidewalk. Exhaustion, dulling panic into hollow regret. I stand and dust off my pants, knowing I have to face the day. Dial Lisa's number once more. Rings, then voicemail. My chest caves in. I force myself to walk home, each step heavier than the last. When I reach the building, the lobby is empty, and the elevator groans as it carries me up. I press her doorbell until my knuckles ache. No response. My reflection shimmers in the glass, an old man stripped of pride, lost between hope and heartbreak. I slump against the wall and close my eyes, replaying every promise she made. Hours later, my phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. Tell him to wait. My pulse skyrockets. I type, "Who is this?" But there's no reply. My doubt surges like a tide. I remember the red flags, late-night calls, curt tones. I loved her, I fooled myself. Now I'm adrift, wondering if any of it was real. I slam my fist into the wall, pain flashing through my knuckles. I gasp and cradle my hand, anger and shame in equal measure. I slide to the floor, phone pressed to my ear, and call Tom. "I messed up," I say before he can speak. He sighs. "I warned you, Jack." His words cut deeper than any betrayal. "I know," I whisper. I had to believe." Silence. "You need to get help," he finally says. "Come home." I stare at the ceiling, tears stinging. "I can't," I say, voice hollow. "Not yet." I pack my bag in a daze, passport, wallet, the empty spot where the bracelet used to sit. I pause at her apartment door, leave my key on the mat, and step back into the humid air. I walk away, each footfall marking a loss I can't undo. As the sun climbs, I whisper to myself, I traded my security for promises. Never again. My heart aches, but beneath that ache is a seed of resolve. I will rebuild, even if it means starting alone. I barely recognize the knock at the door 3 days later. But when I open it and see Lisa standing there, breathless, my relief crashes. Into panic as she blurs out, "I need 200,000 baht extra or I leave." My vision swirls. 200? I echo, voice hollow. She nods, eyes cold. Family debt doubled, no exceptions. My chest tightens. I've already spent $9,000 on visas, gifts, fees. I stare at her, desperate. "Lisa, I can't. I've given everything." She steps back, arms folded. "This is family debt, not my problem." My legs go weak. I grip the doorframe. "Please," I whisper, voice cracking. "Let's meet halfway." She scoffs, hair brushing. Her shoulders. "I told you the amount." She turns, and I sense finality. I retreat inside, shaking. I dial my bank manager, heart pounding. "I need a loan," I stammer. He sighs. "Your account's tapped out, Jack." I curse under my breath and call my daughter. She refuses, then hangs up. My fingers tremble as I reach for my phone and call friends. No one will wire another baht. I pace the apartment, walls closing in. Every memory of her laughter, her tearful apologies, now feels like a cruel joke. I slump at the kitchen table, head in hands. I hear her footsteps. She stands in the doorway, arms crossed. "Do you have it?" she asks, voice flat. I look up, shame washing over me. "This is all I have," I say, sliding an envelope across the table. My hand shakes so badly I can't meet her eyes. She picks it up, her expression unreadable as she counts the bills. 100,000, she says. I nod, breathing ragged. It's all I could gather. She tosses the envelope back. "Then I guess we're done." My heart sinks. "Lisa, please," I beg, voice urgent. "I need you." She shakes her head, lips pressed tight. "I need my family debt paid." Her rejection slices through me like ice. I rise, legs unsteady. So what now? The apartment feels too small, air too thick. She glances around, expression vacant. I leave. Silence. My throat tightens. No fight left in me. "Goodbye," she adds quietly, turning away. Her footsteps fade down the hall. I stand rooted, empty pockets hanging at my sides. My vision blurs with tears. I refuse to shed in front of her. I collapse onto the couch, head spinning. I whisper to the empty, "Listen, wait. I've lost everything." My palms rest on my knees, shaking. The sound of the corridor is swallowed by my racing thoughts. I think of Mary, her gentle smile, her patient love. I traded that for a promise in her eyes that disappears now. My chest aches as regret floods me. I clench my fists. What did I do? I choke out, voice breaking. No answer comes. I sit, defeated, watching the sunlight shift through the blinds, feeling the weight of my desperation crushing what was left of my hope. The next morning I wake in the silence of an empty bed and feel a hollow ache, I reach for my phone. No messages, no missed calls. I dress mechanically, mind numb. I wander through the apartment, each room a reminder of her absence. The bracelet on the dresser I never wore, the photos of us laughing. Guilt claws at me. I whisper, I should have stopped at the first demand. Outside, the street is waking. Vendors prepare stalls, tuk-tuks rumble. I wander, drawn by routine. I pass the cafe where we shared coffee, her smile over foam, now. Just a memory. I slide onto a plastic chair at an empty table. The barista sets down a cup. I don't taste the bitterness. I stare at the steam rising, thinking of the debt she claimed, the price of my dreams. I dial Tom. He answers on the first ring. Jack. His voice is cautious. I close my eyes. She left, I say, voice hollow. Took the money and left. His sigh carries sympathy and frustration. I told you, he says softly, you need to come home. I study the street through the cafe's door, faces passing by, oblivious. I can't, I reply. Not yet. My voice catches. I need to finish this, he doesn't argue. Be careful, don't chase ghosts. I nod, though he can't see me. I know. I hang up and stare at the coffee. The steam has vanished. My isolation feels complete. I return to her apartment one last time, keys in hand. The door is locked. I press my ear to the wood, listen. For her voice. Nothing. My reflection stares back at me in the peephole, an old man stripped of dignity, chasing love that evaporated with the cash. I drop the envelope with the remaining money into the trash chute. I step back, blinking against the glare of the morning sun. I slide my hands into my pockets and find them empty. I inhale the humid air, try to steady my breathing. I whisper, "It's over." I walk away, each step echoing with finality. Hours later, I sit on a bench overlooking the beach, wind ruffling my hair. I close my eyes and let the waves pull at my soul. I murmur, I lost my security, my pride, for promises that were never real. My shoulders slump. I sense the seed of resolve stirring beneath the pain. I pick up a grain of sand and roll it between my fingers. Small, harmless. I stand, gazing at the horizon. The sun glints on the water, unknowing, uncaring. I whisper, "I'll rebuild." My voice is quiet but firm. I take a step forward, then another, leaving behind the nightmare she created. With each footfall, I reclaim a piece of myself. The path ahead is uncertain, but for the first time I walk it alone and determined, heart heavier but unbroken. I sit on the edge of my sofa, the apartment silent except for the hum of the air conditioner. My phone lies face up on the coffee, a table screen cracked from the day I slammed it down. I pick it up and scroll through our old messages, her late-night sweet dreams, her miss you stickers, the promises that shimmered like gold. My thumb hesitates over her name, then taps blocked. No more chance to call, no more chance to apologize. I press play on my camera app, voice shaking as I press record. I was lonely, I begin, whispering as if the walls themselves might judge me. I wanted to feel alive again. My throat tightens and I swallow. I set the phone down and let the tears come, hot and unbidden. I lean back against the cushions, clutching a photo of us at that rooftop bar in Patong, her smile wide, my hand trembling as I held hers. I trace the curve of her lips with a fingertip. I stand and pace, gripping the photo until my knuckles whiten. She blocked me everywhere, I mutter, voice rough. I dial Tom's number and listen to it ring, but only his voicemail answers. "Jack," his voice says, heavy with concern. "If you're hearing this, you need to come home. You don't have to do this alone." I let the message play twice, guilt slicing through me. I press delete and hang up, knowing I should go but desperate to prove I can fix this mess on my own. I return to the sofa and open my laptop, fingers hovering over the keyboard. I type out a blog post. My confession to the world, detailing every payment, every lie, every moment I ignored the red flags. I pause at the line. I ignored every warning because my grief blinded me. I delete it. My pride flares, then fades. I type it again, raw. I read it aloud to myself. I ignored every warning because my grief blinded me. The words taste like ash. I closed the laptop with a snap, resolve settling in my chest. I won't let this grief rule me again. I stand and walk to the window, staring at the city lights below. I remember her voice, soft and urgent. Trust me. I close my eyes and whisper, "Goodbye, Lisa." My reflection in the glass stares back, older, sadder, but awake. I think of Mary's laugh, the way she used to tease me about my stubborn heart. I swallow regret. In my mind, I replay every moment we shared, searching for the instant I traded. Safety for a promise, I can't find it. I sink to the floor, back against the wall, and wrap my arms around my knees. I close my eyes, letting the tears come again. I won't let my grief blind me again, I vow aloud, voice firm despite the tremor. I swallow and press my palms to my closed lids, willing myself to believe it. The next morning, I sit at the kitchen table with a cup of black coffee, its bitterness sharpening my clarity. I scroll through my bank statements. No more large withdrawals, no more frantic transfers. I push the photo of her at Patong into a drawer. My fingers brush the smooth wood. I shut it. I pick up my phone and call my daughter. My heart pounds. But I answer when she says, "Dad." I close my eyes. "I'm coming home," I say. Her relief echoes through the line, soft and healing. I stand, pressing the phone to my ear as I walk toward the door. Outside, the morning sun strikes the pavement, bright and unblinking. I step into it without hesitation. Each footfall is a step away from the nightmare I created, a step back to myself. I walk past street vendors setting up stalls, past tuk-tuks, rattling to life. The city hums around me, indifferent but alive. I feel the weight of my mistakes, but with each breath, that weight lifts a fraction. I whisper, "I'm awake now." I pull my jacket tighter and keep moving, eyes forward, heart open to whatever comes next. I step onto Patong Beach just as the first pale light of dawn whispers across the sand, and I breathe in the salty air, like it's a lifeline. My bare feet sink into empty shells, each crackling step echoing my own fractured journey. I lift my camera, voice low and steady. "I lost money," I begin, "but I found my dignity." The recorder light glows red, unwavering, as if daring me to face the truth. I swallow and let the words spill. I gave everything to someone I loved, only to realize love isn't measured in baht. My heart thumps in my chest, raw honesty flooding me. I pause the recording and tuck the camera under my arm. The waves murmur against the shore, steady and unjudging. I remember Lisa's soft laughter here, her promise to stay. I run a finger over the cold metal of the camera, thinking of the chains I broke. Financial chains, emotional ones. I walk until the water kisses my ankles. "I trusted too easily," I whisper to the sea. I stare at the horizon, where sky and water blur into possibility. A vendor pushes a cart nearby, lighting a small lantern. I nod, half smile, then turn back to the water. My mind churns through lessons learned. Trust myself before others. Guard. My heart with boundaries, cherish honesty over illusions. I press record again. "I'm done chasing ghosts," I say, voice stronger. "This chapter ends here." I let the camera capture my profile against the rising sun. I slip off my jacket and drape it over the camera's tripod. No more confessions. I tell my reflection in the lens. Just growth. I close my eyes, breath even. The sting of regret still lingers, but beneath it, a fragile hope blooms. I picture the man I was, lonely, grieving, blinded by promises, and the man I am becoming, cautious, self-aware, unafraid to set limits. I breathe in, exhale doubt. Behind me, the shoreline stretches empty, shells and seaweed tangled like memories. I pick up a shell and roll it in my hand, examining its ridges. Each ridge feels like a scar I carry, proof I survived. I drop it back into the sand and step forward. My footprints trace a path I won't retrace. I raise the camera one last time. "Thank you," I whisper, to myself, to my former self, to anyone who listened. I hold the shot for a moment, letting the sun's warmth wash over my face. When I stop recording, I unlatch the tripod and leave the camera balanced on a bench facing the sea. "Here," I say softly. "You belong to the waves now." I walk away without looking back, the steady rhythm of water guiding my steps. With each stride I release another weight. The gold chain I bought, the red flags I ignored, the promises that dissolved. My heart beats calm and sure. I let the dawn carry my regrets into the surf and my resolve into the sky. I reach the end of the beach and turn toward the town, where taxis hum and markets wake. My shoulders feel lighter. I brush sand from my pants and whisper under my breath, "Next time, I'll be stronger." The words feel true in my mouth. I step onto the boardwalk, leaving the beach and that version of myself behind. The boardwalk creaks under my weight as I head toward the street, neon signs flickering behind me, yet powerless against the dawn. I pause to button my shirt, hands steady now where they trembled before. I push my sleeves up, revealing my forearms, unmarked by bracelets or debts. I breathe in the new day, letting the sunrise paint my resolve into the sky. I find a tuk-tuk waiting beside a vendor unpacking fresh fruit. I climb in without a word. The driver glances at me through the rearview mirror, nods, and I point toward the airport. Inside, the engine hums like a heartbeat, propelling me forward. I close my eyes and remember her last words. "I need my family debt paid." I shiver at the memory but hold on to the clarity it gave me. On the ride, I speak aloud to the empty seat next to me. "I won't be fooled again." My voice is calm, resonating inside the tiny cabin. The driver listens, without judgment. I roll down the window and let the salty breeze carry away the sting of betrayal. I whisper, goodbye to promises that weighed me down. At the airport, I lug my bag through the automatic doors and stop at a payphone booth, my last confession still running wild in my mind. I dial Tom's number. His voice answers on the first ring. "I'm on my way home," I tell him, voice steady. He breathes relief. "See you soon." I hang up, heart lighter. I pass the check-in counter and pause, feeling the weight of this decision. No more detours in search of love. I step forward, hand my passport to the agent, and hear the click of the gate opening. I step through, leaving the checkered sands of Patong behind. Inside the terminal, I walk past departure boards, each destination a reminder of paths not taken. I stop at the window overlooking the runway. Planes taxi into position, engines roaring. I lean my forehead against the glass and close my eyes. I whisper, "I'm ready for the next chapter." So a tear slips down my cheek, but I welcome it. It means I'm alive. I think of Mary, her patient smile, and how I buried grief under transactions and empty promises. Now I feel her memory guide me. Love requires trust, but demands respect. I pull a notebook from my bag and scribble a final line. "Trust yourself first." I tuck it back in and step away from the window. At the gate, I find my seat and settle in, folding my arms across my chest. The seatbelt sign clicks on. I tap the frame of my glasses, breathing deep. My phone vibrates with a message from my daughter. "Can't wait to see you." I smile, a genuine lift that starts in my chest. I type back, "On my way." The plane door closes and the engines rev. I feel the press of reality in my bones. No revenge, no grand finale, just quiet growth. I reach into my pocket and find the small seashell I picked up at dawn. I roll it between my fingers, a talisman of survival. I slip it into my jacket's inner pocket, my secret reminder that I walked through pain and found myself again. The plane accelerates down the runway. I press my palm against the window, heart pounding. As we lift into the sky, Patong shrinks. Below me, a collection of memories fading into distance. I whisper to the clouds, "Next time I'll be stronger." I settle back into my seat as we climb above the coastline. The sun, now fully risen, sparkles on the water below. I close my eyes and mouth one last confession. I lost money, but I found my dignity. My chest swells with fragile hope. As the plane levels out, I feel the first stirrings of peace. The horizon stretches endless before me, new beginnings waiting. I lean my head against the seat and breathe. In this moment, I know I've finally reclaimed my story.